Please beware of this common mistake when setting financial goals this new year if you actually want to achieve them. Because having been able to tick off my financial goals every single year for the past 4 years, from quitting my job to starting my business, to becoming a full-time entrepreneur, to investing my first property, to ticking off my travel bucket list, let me tell you what not to do when setting financial goals and what you need to do instead. Let's get into it. The biggest mistake I see Filipinos make is setting financial goals out of pressure. How they should save six figures by now because they're turning 30 and they're not getting any younger. How they should clear their credit card debts fast because they can't sleep well at night. Or how they should start that additional income stream because they're not saving enough. And if you could just feel that kind of energy, it's like you're in a pressure cooker. It's like you're going to be punished if you don't end up doing it. And the reality is, when you're constantly pressured, you become anxious. When you become anxious, you become demotivated. When you become demotivated, you eventually give up on that goal. Tell me how I know, because I've been there too. Like, for the longest time, I thought about, I want to start my own business. I want to do content creation so I could quit my job. But for so many years, I didn't do anything about it because the goal was based on pressure. It was like a military style kind of pressure where when you're in that kind of energy, you end up not doing it because it's not exciting, but rather it feels so anxiety inducing to do. And this is the biggest mistake when I see clients come to me for help, when may it be corporate professionals, freelancers, small business owners. The biggest reason why they can't save consistently, why they can't hit their savings target, why it's been so hard to clear their debts, why it's so hard to finally purchase that property or make that travel bucket list happen, is because they're so filled with pressure. When you're so pressured, it's like you're holding to your fist so tight. It's like nakaganyan ka. And when you are like holding onto something so tight, it's so hard to move. It's so hard to do anything. Like, all of your muscles are just so tense that you're unable to relax. You're unable to freely do the thing. It suddenly feels like a chore that you have to do, that you should do by this age, by this time. And so ultimately, pressuring yourself to achieve your financial goals is just not sustainable. Maybe pressuring yourself to discipline yourself, to stop spending so much, to stop spending for the month, and finally like restrict yourself and stick to the savings target that you set out, or to push yourself to take action on that business, to do content, or all of these things that seem so, that all of a sudden you have so much resistance to. That's the thing, when you put yourself with so much pressure, you become resistant to it. And eventually you become resistant to taking action for that goal. We don't realize like how much mental bandwidth pressure does to our brain. It's like when we are filled with so much pressure to do so many things, to achieve so many things, to wanting to achieve all of our financial goals in the same year, we don't end up doing anything because our mind is so clouded with so many things we want to do, and we end up being in analysis paralysis, second guessing our actions, if this is a priority, if it's not, should I be doing something else? Like, all of these thoughts that fill up your brain, they're not going to excite you to take action. I remember when I was in my corporate job and I was like, wait, I feel so pressured that I should have another income stream. I should start another side hustle because I'm not earning enough or I'm not saving enough. I should start another income stream because that's what people say you should have in order to be financially free. In order to quit your job, you should have so many side hustles, so many income streams. And guess what happened? I didn't do anything about it. I had associated negative feelings to starting something new, to starting a side hustle, to starting an income stream. And so I didn't have the mental bandwidth, capacity to even create space for that in my life because it was just occupied with so much pressure. It's like, imagine your hand when there's so much pressure. It's like you want to hold on to so many things. You want to hold on to a lot of things in your hand. And because you want to hold on to a lot of things, you can't really move, right? Like, if you want to put so many things in your hand, you can't really walk so much, or else the things that are on your hands are gonna fall, or you might trip, or you might get distracted. And so that's the thing with pressure. It's like you're trying to hold on to so many things that you can't move that you can't decide, that you can't prioritize. And so when I help my clients, I want to relieve that pressure. I want them to let go of all the things that they think they should have achieved by now. I want them to look at their hand and be like, I have so much space. I have so much space to focus on what I truly want. And so when my clients come to me for help, when they're so pressured about wanting to achieve so many things, instead of setting goals feeling pressured, I help them set goals out of purpose. And that purpose looks like, what do I truly want out of life? What are my deepest desires and dreams that I am excited about achieving? And then I will align my finances to get there. I create the safe space for them to really verbalize, speak about, be vulnerable about figuring out what they truly want out of life. And then we create a financial roadmap and system to get there. Because this is exactly what I did for my life. When I stopped pressuring myself with the shoulds of how much I should save by now, I should have bought a property by now, I should have done this by now. When I let go of all of that, instead focus on what really gives me fulfillment, joy, and happiness in my life, it became so much easier to save up for it. It became so much easier to prioritize what will truly give me lasting happiness. When I help my clients through the process of figuring out what they truly want out of life by becoming crystal clear with concrete life goals and milestones, it becomes easier to identify the right earning opportunities that would allow them to get to their dream career. It becomes easier to quantify how much savings ba talaga is enough for me to fund the life I want, and also to understand which investments would truly make an impact to funding this life that I truly want for myself. From there, managing their finances, achieving their financial goals becomes exciting and empowering instead of a chore that they dread to do. This allows them to develop a more sustainable money habit where they can balance enjoying the now while funding their future goals, where they're able to maximize their one income stream to fund their next life milestones. My clients tell me time and time again that when they get crystal clear, when they narrow down what they truly want out of life and create clear priorities and goals out of them, it becomes so much easier and simpler to stick to a sustainable financial system that only takes them 15 minutes twice a month to do. Because here's the tough love that I wish someone told me earlier. Okay, is that what makes you overcomplicate your finances is you don't even know what you want out of life. And so it's easy to get easily distracted by what everyone else is doing with their money. When they tell you, dapat may insurance ka na, dapat may property ka na, dapat nandito ka na at this stage in your career, dapat may side hustle ka, dapat madami kang income streams, like those things become so pressuring and they distract you so much that you don't end up doing anything. It paralyzes you and it puts you in this fear and state of anxiety. Instead, when you're so focused on what gives you purpose, meaning, passion in your life, it becomes so much easier to align your finances to get there. I love this conversation I had with my client right here when she was able to purchase her dream car, also start her own business with one income stream as a teacher. This is what they talked about in this interview, where this is what happens when you are free from pressure, when you are so contented with maximizing your income stream. You have suddenly so much bandwidth and capacity to do things that excite you, because that's what happened to her that she shared in that interview. When she realized, like, I have enough income, one income stream is enough if I properly allocate my resources, if I just properly allocate my funds, it's enough. And when she was in that kind of mindset, and when she was able to apply a system with that kind of mindset, all of a sudden, she's so chill with her finances. Like, she's not pressuring herself to do so many things, to start side hustles. And so when she was chill and contented and relaxed, it suddenly made her mind open up to possibilities. It suddenly made her think, you know what? I want to start this thing. I want to do this thing without pressure. She did it out of excitement. She started a business out of excitement, and it had, like, skyrocketed her sales just for the first time in doing it. I highly recommend watching that interview with my client. You're going to be so inspired that it's actually possible to maximize your one income stream and be free from financial stress and anxiety because you have built sustainable money habits and systems in place. Now, let me give you examples on how you'd know, are you setting financial goals out of pressure or from a place of purpose. So, for example, when I was deep into my shopaholic days and my retail therapy, I remember I was pressuring myself na, Nick, tigilan mo na kasi dahil mo masyadong ginagastos sa skincare, mga kung ano-ano, and you should just stop it. Like, can you just have discipline? Can you just control yourself? And so I was speaking to myself in that way. And so unconsciously, I was pressuring myself to stop it, to stop buying these things so that I could actually use more of my money to save. But the thing is, I didn't really know what it was for. The goals were based on wanting to put so much pressure on myself to discipline myself. Versus when I learned how to set financial goals out of purpose, how it looked like was I want to rechannel my time, energy, resources to saving because that savings could help me quit my job faster and start my dream coaching business faster. And so instead of focusing on I need to delay gratification, how can I fast track what will truly give me lasting joy, happiness, fulfillment in my life? And so instead of setting goals from a place of fear and a place of pressure, I was driven by excitement, purpose, fulfillment. And so that's a difference of what allows you to build sustainable money habits is it rooted from excitement, from purpose, from fulfillment, or is it rooted in fear, anxiety, worries, survival mode? Because that doesn't become sustainable. Another example is when my client came to me knowing that she had these avoidant tendencies with her debts. Like she knew I had to pay them off, but I'm so scared to look at them. It makes me anxious just thinking about them. And so I miss payments, or I don't even know how much my debt has increased to, and so she doesn't end up clearing them off. And so what I helped her with is, what is the result ba of you becoming debt-free? What do you get to look forward to? What do you get to focus your time and energy towards instead? And this is the big question mark that my clients miss out on, is that they're so focused on clearing the debts that they forget what's next. After that, what do I look forward to after those debts? And that is the missing puzzle piece. That is the biggest thing that would make or break their financial goals on clearing their debts. Is that if you don't have anything to look forward to after that, you're not going to be excited to do it. You're not going to be able to sustain paying off those debts. And so with her, what allowed her to slowly, gradually pay off her debts and stop being so avoidant about it is that I allowed her to dream again and think about, oh, once I'm debt-free, I'm going to be able to fund my creative pursuits, my travel goals, all of these things that I've always wanted to do because now I'm no longer held back by the burden of debts. That's the difference of when you set financial goals out of pressure, it's like you're, oh my God, I have to clear my debts faster and faster. And when you're so focused on the debts, it feels like a burden. When it feels like a burden, you don't end up doing it. Or you delay it or you avoid it. Okay? Versus when you set goals out of purpose. Okay, what's gonna be the positive outcome when I become debt-free? What do I get to focus my time, energy, resources to? What dreams and desires have I forgotten about that I can now prioritize? Because that's what happens when you set goals out of pressure. You don't really get to think about what excites you anymore. You get to bury those desires and dreams because you're thinking, I need to do this. I should be doing this by now. I should be saving this much by now. I should have cleared my debts by now. And it clouds your desires and dreams. And you don't even realize that that's the thing that stops you from achieving your goals. Another example is when my client was constantly in this chronic cycle of shopping whenever she was stressed. Whenever she was stressed at work, she would go into retail therapy, go into concerts even if she couldn't afford it, or she would just constantly be in this mode of being impulsive with her purchases because it gave her relief from stress. And so when she would set goals of clearing my debts or I should stop being so impulsive, when she was so focused on that, it didn't do anything for her. When she's my goal is to stop being impulsive, to stop shopping when I'm stressed. The thing is, when you create goals from that place, you think about the negative possibilities, okay? And when you think about it in the negative way, it becomes dreadful to do. You're not really going to be motivated to do it. Versus when I guided her in thinking of, first, what's the root cause of you being stressed at work? And turns out it was a kind of work that no longer aligned with her values, with her lifestyle, with her mental well-being. And so I guided her in understanding what is the dream career for her that is aligned with work-life balance, with better working conditions. And so that helped her gain clarity of if I am able to explore job opportunities in line with my dream career, then I would no longer feel stressed. And when I'm no longer stressed, I'm no longer going to shop when I'm stressed. And so not only did we solve the root cause of her stress that made her shop, but also I made her create concrete goals from purpose, wherein it's aligned with funding her dream career so that her excitement is led towards that, so that she's gonna be excited to like, oh, this is what I'm not gonna spend on, what I can spend on, what I will prioritize, so that I could fast track getting to that career that's more aligned with my values, that's more aligned with taking care of myself and having more purpose and fulfillment in what I do. This is why my clients tell me how easy it becomes now to create a sustainable financial system that they can easily stick to, that they can easily do every single month, because it's now rooted from purpose. It's rooted in excitement. They're having fun with managing their finances. I love that my clients tell me that every single time that they're like, I came from a place of anxiety. Now I am confident, having fun, being excited about managing my finances, because I know it's bringing me a step closer to funding my life milestones one by one with one income stream at a time. If you also want to be guided with having clarity on your life goals rooted in your purpose, and at the same time creating a financial system to get there, implementing a sustainable financial system that maximizes your one income stream, then I would love to invite you to work with me as your coach inside Fund Your Freedom. This is both holistic and personalized in solving the root cause of your unhealthy money habits, your unhealthy relationship with money, and at the same time understanding your aspirations, those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back for the longest time from achieving your financial goals. So this new year, if you want to finally stop procrastinating your financial goals, stop being in the loop of DIYing your finances with no lasting change, and finally follow a proven and tested process that I have went through myself to achieving my first million, and now having coached over 100 clients inside my program, then this is the program for you, where you will finally figure out what you truly want out of life, overcome the fears and pressures that hold you back from achieving them, and ultimately build a clear roadmap and system to fund your life milestones with one income stream at a time. You can visit coachingwithnick.com for all of the details on how you can join, how you can secure your spot. It's crazy. I've been fully booked every single quarter, especially for Q1. So my next slot is going to be in Q2 by the time I upload this video in the start of the year. So if you want to be guided properly with the proper accountability, mindset, roadmap, and achieving your financial goals so that you could finally fund the things that you've always wanted in your life, then I highly recommend checking my website on how you can join and enroll in my coaching program. You can also read so many client testimonials there so that you can get inspired of like, okay, if they did it, I can do it as well. You can also book a free assessment call with me one-on-one for you to assess like, okay, like, are there any other questions I need to have answered, or will my financial goals be achieved through this process in the program? Am I the right coach to help you in the struggles you have with your financial habits and things like that? So that is open for you, because I want you to feel safe, comfortable, and excited to make that investment in yourself, because I believe that when you invest big in yourself, you bet on yourself. And when you bet on yourself, you're going to make everything possible, because you know that if I invest big on myself, I'm going to do everything that it takes to make big returns on my investment. So you can schedule a free assessment call if that's something that you want to chat more about, if my systems and process would also work for you. And you can also check out this video on my client testimonial so that you can get inspired of like, oh my gosh, this person was able to fund so many things with one income stream, and I want to do that as well. So check that out, and I will see you there.